Hello everyone and welcome to our complimentary webinar today, Improve Health and Safety Culture with ISO 45001. We are very excited to have you with us and thank you again for registering. Now let me go ahead and introduce our presenter for today, Mr. Oscar Combs. Oscar Combs is a senior consultant of the ISO 9001 group. Oscar has over 25 years of experience providing consulting, auditing, and training to organizations such as AT&T, Hewlett-Packard, Kawasaki, BASF, Halliburton, DHL, and numerous other medium and small-size organizations throughout the United States and abroad. Oscar holds an MBA from the University of Houston and is an exemplar certified lead auditor and principal management consultant. So everyone, let's welcome Oscar and go ahead and begin our presentation for today.
All right. Thank you, Victoria, for that wonderful introduction. Hey guys, Oscar Combs here, and welcome to this webinar today on how to improve your health and safety culture within your organization using ISO 45001. Now, every organization wants to establish a good health and safety culture, or at least most organizations say that that's what they want to do. But to do that, it starts with establishing a formal health and safety management system. So in this webinar, we're going to talk about the importance of establishing a safety culture, leadership's role in establishing that safety culture, and how do we gain the employees' participation in our safety management system. All right, so before we get into that, I'd like to briefly give you a little more information about the ISO 9001 group so that you can know who we are and what we do. We are a consulting, auditing, and training organization. That's our focus. We're headquartered here in Houston, Texas, but we have regional offices in Atlanta, Chicago, Denver, New York, and Portland. And so this gives us the ability to support all of our clients throughout the U.S., regardless of where you're located. And we also have resources in these areas. Now, the mission of our company is to help your organization improve operations and reduce risk through your management system. Our consultants, we have over 25 years of experience doing just that. Now, we also are ISO 9001 certified, so that gives you some confidence in our processes that we can execute. And we are also accredited by the Better Business Bureau. We have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, and so we're very proud of that as well. Now, I would like to encourage you to subscribe and follow the ISO 9001 group. Find us on your favorite social media. Maybe that's LinkedIn, maybe that's Twitter, maybe YouTube. So go find us, subscribe to us. You'll find good value-added content just like we're doing today with this free complimentary webinar for you. And hey, I want to encourage you to stay logged in until the end of the webinar. We have a Q&A session coming up. If you have a question, make sure you use the chat feature to submit your question. And so we'll be taking questions throughout the webinar, and I'll be answering those questions at the end. All right, guys, let's jump into our session today. Why should we have a health and safety culture? Why is that important to a company? You know, every organization, I believe, believes and they verbalize a culture of safety first. You know, I hear this all the time in pretty much every organization that I go into, or I'll see banners or signs that say safety first. Well, when I look at the statistics, I have to question, is safety really coming first in our companies? So globally, throughout the world, on an annual basis, there's 2.78 million fatalities. Almost 3 million people are dying due to work-related accidents or diseases per year. In addition to 2.78 million fatalities, there's 374 million non-fatal injuries per year globally. This is per year, and this is globally. It's a lot of people, guys. Now, in the United States, companies within the United States are spending about 62 billion, that's billion, in direct costs associated with work-related injuries or illnesses with employees. Now, with these numbers, we have to ask, are we really putting safety first? Is that really the culture of organizations? You know, OSHA puts out what they call the OSHA Fatal 4. 36% of people are dying due to falls, slip and falls. 10% struck by objects. 9% electrocutions. 2% caught in between something. Come on, guys. That's, to me, that's too much carnage. And we as a companies, you know, we have to look at ourselves in the mirror and really ask ourselves, are we really putting safety first? No, here are some of OSHA's top violations: fall protection, hazard communication, scaffolding, respiratory protection, lockout, tagout, ladders, powered industrial trucks like forklifts, things of this nature, machinery and machine guards, eye and face protection. You know, this really hasn't changed too much from when I began my career in 1995. These were still about the same top OSHA violations. So what is the culture? What is the safety culture? What are we doing? Are we working to improve things? What is the health and safety culture in your company? What is health and safety culture? You know, maybe we don't understand what that is. It's the attitudes, the beliefs, the perceptions, the values regarding health and safety that people hold true in your company. What do they believe when it comes to attitudes? What's their attitude when it comes to safety? You know, do they get an attitude when they're required to wear PPE? Do they get an attitude when they need to report an injury? What is the attitude of management when they're reporting injuries? Are they being reprimanded? You know, what are the values? What will we not do? What will we not sacrifice when it comes to health and safety within our company? You know, every organization, you have a safety culture. If you think you don't have one, you have one. It's either a good one or a bad one. There's only two types, and you have one of them. Which one do you have? You know, the safety culture is described as how we get things done around here. This is just how we do things. You know, do your employees only wear safety glasses when the safety representative comes on the floor? I see that quite a bit when I go out to clients. You know, we come out, people start dropping their safety glasses or onto their face, or they grab their hard hat. Well, to me, that would indicate, well, you knew that you should have been doing that in the first place, and now someone's out here watching. Now you exhibit the correct behavior. Are we too busy to clean up spills? You know, someone's coming behind you, slipping and falling. We indicated that was one of the top 4. You know, the people have an attitude. Why do we need to wear our hard hat? Well, I just presented to you that One of the fatal four was being struck by objects. That's why we need to wear our hard hat. You know, we always do it this way. No one's gotten injured yet. Well, okay, maybe we've been lucky. But this is what we're talking about when we're talking about safety culture. Now, if your safety culture is the opposite of these things, that would indicate you have a good safety culture. If your safety culture represents some of these things, you may want to look at that. You know, when it comes to safety culture, it starts with leadership. You know, what kind of safety culture do the leaders within your organization exemplify? What kind of safety culture do they exemplify within your company? You know, it begins with the top management. You know, your management team. But not every leader in your company is on your management team. You know, a leader is anyone that people follow, or someone that has the ability to influence others' thoughts and actions. So you need to identify the leaders within your company, and hopefully your health and safety leaders begin with your management team all the way to the highest level. You know, leaders should never put profits over health and safety. But when we look at those numbers that I cited earlier, it would indicate that some leaders are still putting profits over the health and safety of the employees. And leaders establish culture by establishing policy. They're focused on prevention of work-related injuries and illnesses. They're not only dealing with it after employees are injured, they are really focused on preventing work-related injuries. And the leaders are considering health and safety in all the decisions. When the door is closed, they're considering safety of the employees. They're considering the health of the employees, right along with profitability or meeting customers' needs and deadlines. They're also considering health and safety of the employees. They're setting good examples. They're communicating. They're talking about safety. Ask when's the last time your leader in your company, your management, actually talked to the employees about safety? When's the last time that they actually got up before the employees and talked to them about it? Or is they just leaving that to the safety manager or the safety representative? No, it has to be from the top. Have to encourage employees to report incidences. See, the reporting of incidences can prevent the injuries. And I like to encourage people to report small things. I mean, let's report the small things, the near misses or the potential, not the wait till we get the incident. Because employees need to feel comfortable to report things. They don't need to be reprimanded when they report things. Reporting is a good thing. And leaders in the organizations should encourage the employees to report. The employees must participate. To have a good safety culture and a good health culture within your company, it requires employee participation. You can't have a good health and safety system without it. So we have to get their buy-in. We have to solicit their feedback through formal and informal feedback systems. We need to consult with them. That means consult with the employees as opposed to telling them what they're doing in regards to safety, what they shall do. Ask them, what can we do as a company to ensure that we're establishing a good health and safety culture? What can we do as a company? They'll tell you. They will participate. They want to participate. Nobody wants to get injured at their job. So of course, if we ask them and we show that we are genuinely interested, they will participate. You know, a lot of companies try to implement these safety incentive programs, and those are good, but it doesn't really establish a safety culture that's driven intrinsically. It establishes a safety culture that's based upon some type of extrinsic reward or money or a attaboy or a gift, things of that nature. But you know, your best health and safety culture comes from people just having the desire to be safe, the desire to be healthy. And so we have to, as organizations, establish the environment for that. So there is a tool that can help organizations do this. It's called ISO 45001. As I've indicated, most organizations really want to have a good health and safety culture. The problem is they just don't have a formal way of doing it. They don't have a systematic way of doing it. That's where ISO 45001 comes in. It's a system, a management system. You know, just like you have your financial system, maybe your accounting system, SAP, or you have a ERP system in your company that's running all of your other processes. ISO 45001 is a health and safety management system, and it's developed by experts from around the world, from 70 different countries. So I shared some global statistics with you earlier, and this system is designed and representative of 70 different countries. And it's designed in a way so that it's to be integrated into your business processes, right? So ISO 45001 is a really good tool. Let's talk about some benefits of implementing ISO 45001. You know, you can qualify for projects that require a health and safety program. You know, many companies won't even do business with you if you have poor safety, and rightfully so. Why would they want to do business with a company that has high incident rates and they're always hurting their employees, or the employees are always getting injured? If you're coming onto their site, they understand you're bringing those risks to their site. The system will allow you to reduce workplace incidents and incident rates. You know, your total recordable incident rate. Look at it. If you don't track that number right now, you should start tracking that. That will tell you how frequently you're having incidents based upon the man hours. It also gives you the ability to reduce people from being absent from work. It reduces turnover, which all breeds unproductivity within your company. People can't work if they're injured. They cannot be totally effective for your company if they're injured, if they're worried about their health and safety. What about the cost of your insurance premiums? You know, check those out. That's totally correlated with your incident rate. For insurance, for your workers' comp, it could be your EMR, your experience modification rating. It's all tied with your incident rates. ISO 45001 can help you with that. Can help you establish that healthy health and safety culture that we've talked about. It's going to provide you with tools as a leader, how to be that safety leader, things that you need to do, things that employees should do, how we can gain their participation. It's going to give you the ability to comply with legal and regulatory requirements such as OSHA. You know, you don't want OSHA coming on site, guys. You just don't want to do that. It's going to help you have a good safety reputation within the industry. You know, when people think of your name, they associate safety with it. And hey, improved employee morale. You know, everybody likes to come in and work in a safe and healthy environment. And so, Victoria, I'm going to turn it back over to you, but before I do, I do want to thank everyone for attending the webinar. I hope I've been able to share some information with you in regards to improving your health and safety culture and how ISO 45001 can help you do that. So, Victoria, if you have some questions for me at this time, I'd be more than happy to answer those questions.
Yes, Oscar, the first question we have is how long does it take to establish a good health and safety culture?
Okay, that's a really good question. So how long does it take to establish a good health and safety culture? That answer really depends on your organization's current culture. What is the gap or the delta of your organization from having a good health and safety culture? Do you need a lot of work in this area? Is- are these issues, do they go all the way up, your poor safety culture, does it go all the way up to management? What are the values? What are the beliefs, the perceptions currently? That will kind of dictate how much work you have to do to turn it around. And we all know you just can't turn a big ship around. It's going to take a while. People just don't change their behaviors like that. So, but by implementing an ISO 45001 system, it will give you the ability to build the foundation to drive the necessary change to get the culture that you desire in your company. So I really can't, I've seen, I mean, if I want to put a time frame on it, I've seen it take anywhere from up to 5 years plus, depending upon how bad the current safety culture is. So hopefully that answers that question. Victoria, do we have another question here?
Our second question is how can ISO 45001 help us qualify for projects?
Oh, okay. Now, all right, that's a good one there. Everybody should want to know this because ISO 45001 can help you qualify for projects. As I indicated before, it was one of the benefits. And who wants to do business with a company that's unsafe, going to bring risk into the project? They can't be productive because their employees are getting injured. The morale is low, right? So ISO 45001 by itself can't help you qualify for projects. You have to look at ISO 45001 as a tool, guys, to help your organization implement an effective occupational health and safety management system. It's a tool, it's a standard. But just by saying, well, we have an ISO 45001 occupational health and safety management system is not going to allow you to qualify for projects. What will allow you to qualify is having an effective system and the results of that system. So what are your incident rates? What is your EMR that we mentioned already? What controls do you have in place in regards to safety? Now, all of these things are covered in ISO 45001, but I can't say just ISO 45001 alone was going to help you qualify for projects. It's the result of you implementing ISO 45001 effectively, which will allow you to qualify for more projects. All right, Victoria, I think maybe we only have time for about one more question. Do we have any more questions?
Yes, our last question is one of our employees cut the tip of their finger off. How would ISO 45001 have helped in this situation?
Okay, that's a good question. My first response is ouch. Have you guys ever stumped your finger, your toe at night? You're walking late at night and you stump your big toe. Have you guys ever done that? I mean, that is so painful, excruciating pain. Can you imagine one of your employees either smashing their finger, getting it caught between something, or literally getting your finger cut off? How painful, guys. Can you imagine the distress of the employee that suffered this injury? And what was the response? I mean, of course, we can't, I don't want you to answer here, of course, and you can't. But what was management's response when that happened? Did they think it was a joke? Did they come up with nicknames? I've heard all these nicknames: Nubby, Nine Finger. I mean, really? That's not a safety culture. That's not a good health and safety culture. That would indicate to me that we have a problem. That our perceptions, our beliefs, our values are that, we can chop someone's finger off and it's funny. It's humorous. No, it's not. It's not, guys. It is not. So I would say that ISO 45001 could have prevented this type of a situation. And how? Well, there are things or controls and processes within ISO 45001 that will give you the tools that you need to do to prevent these types of things. So some things I can just think of off the top of my head is risk assessment, job hazard assessments. These things are all built into ISO 45001, and more importantly, after you assess the risk and the hazards, talks about how you should put controls in place to prevent them from happening. So if we put more attention on prevention as opposed to being reactive, prevention, implementing a sound occupational health and safety system in your company to prevent these types of things, to train employees, put guards in place, that's how I believe ISO 45001 could have helped prevent this situation. All right, guys, I'm going to turn it over to Victoria at this time, but once again, I really appreciate you guys tuning into our webinar. And once again, I hope I've been able to give you some information that can help you improve your operations and reduce your risk within your companies. Talk to you soon.
Thank you so much, Oscar, for that wonderful presentation today, and thank you all again for attending our complimentary webinar. You can feel free to reach out to us at 832-326-9796 or via email at info, I-N-F-O, at ISO9001group.com if you have any additional questions we were not able to get to today. Also, be sure to like us on your favorite social media channels. We are on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook to stay up to date on when our next complimentary webinar will be, as well as additional training opportunities. This webinar will be available on our website and YouTube channel for your use. Thank you again and have a quality day.